do through adversity to be able to get even better for the future.
And I don't doubt that coaches would do that. Sometimes they want to see the mental toughness. They want to see if you can be resilient. And sometimes it's a matter of testing out. I'm sure it's circumstantial too. It could be a money thing, could be a waiver thing, but in a lot of ways, I wouldn't put it past coaches in doing that either. Let's see how you bounce back when I say no. Let's see if you take no as the answer, right?
Well, we've been through this conversation, Andy, but many times a young player in the NHL is being told no for the first time ever.
Yeah.
He gets to major junior, he's the star all the way up, he's on the first power play. I dealt with it at the collegiate level all the time. I'd get a freshman in, he was a straight A student, he was a perfect kid, he was a great player, he was on the power play his whole life, and then you said a kid is said no to, and by all accounts, that he's a great kid, you've never had any issues with him growing up, all the way up. And they get to the NHL level where everyone is good, and they're said no for the first time.
And plus, there's a time too where you're the prospect, and everything you do is fine. Don't worry about it.
Jonathan
keep
Drouin.
keep working. Don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden they tell you that's not good enough.
Yeah,
and you're like,
toughen up.
Last week it was good. This week I'm not. I'm doing the same thing.
Can there be a better example than Jonathan Drouin this year, who was told no?
We'll talk about him. We got to take a quick break here on Leafs Lunch. Bob McKenzie will be joining us after the break here. TSN 1050, TSN.ca, and TSN 4. Welcome back to Leafs Lunch, the TSN Hockey Insider Report on TSN 1050, courtesy of Sail, the Canadian Outdoors Superstore. Spring has sprung, and there's no better time or place to get camp ready than at Sail. Visit sail.com for a store near you. In studio, Annie Petrillo alongside Marty Baron, Dave Poulin. Joining us on the line now, TSN Hockey Insider Bob McKenzie. How are you? Joining us on the line now, TSN Hockey Insider Bob McKenzie. How are you doing, Bob?
Excellent. How are you guys doing today?
We're good. I was doing a little bit more complaining about how I got no sympathy on the weekend for being sick and how Marty was stashing his hauls and wasn't sharing any until the end of the night. You showed
Every
me.
man for himself.
And you showed me no sympathy either.
I love that attitude.
Playoffs, baby. That's the way it works.
Bob is pretty awesome to work with. So, first thing, though, and I want to talk about yesterday's game between Washington and Philadelphia. Are we expecting anything on the Braden Shen hit to TJ Oshie at all?
Probably would have heard something by now if we had, but having said that, they clip those. They sometimes take some time to ruminate over them, and because they do have extra time, I hadn't heard anything as of this morning, but I'll tell you this, he's a real effective player, Braden Shen, and but he hits high, and he hits high almost all the time. And, he leaves the ice on a lot of hits. And if he doesn't get dinged here, there's no question that player safety's got an eye out for him because he, as I say, he's a wrecking ball out there, and you like that about the way that he plays, and he's had a great year with the Philadelphia Flyers, but I think a lot of the hits are borderline, and you're going to end up on the wrong side of some of those simply on volume.
Well, it's not just Braden Shen. It seems to me like it's the whole Philadelphia Flyers team that launches at every hit. You got Simmons doing the same. You got Radko Gudas doing the same. Is there a message that could be sent to the Flyers by using Shen as an example?
Well, you got to take each case. Like, if you're player safety, you can't use message sending in your discipline because every decision you make is predicated on others, and future ones will be predicated on that one in terms of precedent. So you got to take each one for, Gudas probably had, for my money, Gudas had more borderline hits this year that didn't end up with supplementary discipline. And he was just always on the right side of the line, but he was always pushing that line too. So you're right to the extent that Gudas and Shen are both guys that are going to get a lot of attention, but you've got to judge each hit, and if you think it's suspendable, then suspend it. But if it's borderline and it's not, then you can't just say, well, it's those guys and they've been close in the past, so we're going to err on the wrong side this time.
With both of those players, Bob, and in particular for me with Braden Shen, if he's not playing like that, he's nowhere near as effective. The rest of his game seems to follow him being involved physically. We know about Radko Gudas, but Braden Shen probably is a little bit of a sleeper. If he's not playing like that, he's nowhere near as effective, so it's a fine line.
And he had such a great year. I mean, he put up some real good point totals. His contract's up. He's a restricted free agent. He's got arb rights, and he might have a pretty good arb case. So I'll be curious to see, because I don't think, as the season unfolded, I never really got the impression that the Flyers were necessarily eager to do a long-term deal with Shen. That's not to say that they're not. They just didn't, he wasn't one of those guys that they targeted in season as somebody they wanted to take care of with a contract. So now that the season's over and Ron Hextall and his staff have some time to go through it, we'll see if this thing ends up in arbitration or whether they can negotiate something.
Well, Braden Shen, career year across the board, goals, assists, and points. So when we talk about the St. Louis Blues, Chicago Blackhawks, that is a big game tonight, Game 7. The Blues, the San Jose Sharks trying to exercise some demons, Washington Capitals, but, how about the St. Louis Blues when it comes to the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round in general? But then things get ramped up even more so when we see the whole Tarasenko, Ken Hitchcock exchange. Is this really a case of the St. Louis Blues need to make the Stanley Cup final in order to talk about Ken Hitchcock's job being safe? And are we blowing it out of proportion, that exchange with him and Tarasenko, or is it something to be concerned about if you're Hitchcock?
On the exchange that everybody saw, the second period there, yes and no is the answer to are we blowing it out of proportion. That specific instance, the reason Tarasenko was mad was because he wasn't on the power play to finish the period. But it was also, there's a logical, rational explanation for why he wasn't. And simply, his line was core group. This is a really important game for them. Now, I don't think they have to go to the Stanley Cup final to save Ken Hitchcock's job. But boy, oh boy, they desperately, everybody from Ken Hitchcock to Doug Armstrong to every player on that team, they need to exorcise those demons that you talked about. When you look at the bigger picture and you look at his minutes, especially compared to guys like Kane and Taves and the manner in which Joel Quenneville deploys his players, then yeah, maybe they're, probably the reason Tarasenko was as angry as he was is because he doesn't believe this is a one-off. This isn't just a situation. So, that potentially may be an issue. We'll see tonight. I mean, this is to answer your other question on the future of Ken Hitchcock and just the legacy of this St. Louis Blues core group. This is a really important game for them. Now, I don't think they have to go to the Stanley Cup final to save Ken Hitchcock's job. But boy, oh boy, they desperately, everybody from Ken Hitchcock to Doug Armstrong to every player on that team, they need to exorcise those demons that you talked about, what San Jose did against LA. And it looked like they were going to do it. This was the year. I mean, we've been saying St. Louis looks different, and different in a good way. And we've been saying Chicago looks different in a bad way. But after Game 6, Chicago didn't look different in a bad way. They looked the same in a good way, and St. Louis looked the same in a bad way. So this is an interesting one. The Sharks didn't allow it that pressure and negative momentum to ramp up on them. They took care of business, and they took care of it pretty emphatically. St. Louis put themselves in a position now where it might be the same old, where all of a sudden Jonathan Taves, Patrick Kane, Hossa, Keith Seabrook, the core guys on that Chicago team just say, oh, Game 7, no problem, boom, done. And if it is, then, who knows who it's boom, done for in the St. Louis Blue organization, both in terms of coaching, management, in terms of the players on the ice.
It is interesting because Tarasenko has 17 points in 19 playoff games. 14 of those 17 have been goals, and he's averaging around 16 minutes. And you talk about comparing that to the big guys on Chicago, and you're looking at a guy like Patrick Kane, who's anywhere around 25 minutes or so. So speaking of big guys, when we look at this Washington Capitals Pittsburgh Penguins matchup in the second round, I know we touched on it last night on our panel, so I know Marty's thoughts on this. When you've got Ovechkin and Crosby going head to head, do you want them on the ice at the same time? Do you try to keep them away from each other? If you're Sullivan or you're Trotz, what are you doing there?
You know what, I think Barry's probably, well, they're probably both matchup coaches to a large degree, but I mean, if you're Pittsburgh, you know, a lot of the times historically, you don't have a problem putting Malkin out there either. And the Malkin and Malkin and Ovechkin have a pretty good rivalry and know each other obviously extremely well. So I think there's a lot of different options there. I think sometimes the forward matchups are blown out of proportion, and it's more about what defensemen you get out there and how you handle them. But I got to be honest with you, too. When I look at both Washington and I look at Pittsburgh, I don't want to say never have Ovechkin and Crosby been less important to their team than now, because that's not true. I know that's not true. I know Crosby, you know, he and Letang kind of carried the team on their back.
All right, looks like time to get started. Okay, let's get started with this game. This is an EIK, France, WM, G4, G5, 4 with LadyInWaiting, Boot, and Barbarossa. LadyInWaiting and Boot particularly are both excellent players. Barbarossa, I don't think I've played with him that many times, but yeah, they're very good. So it should be a very strong game. All right, taking a quick look at this starting pile. Best cards, Chief's Daughter. Great card. If you can ever play it for free, it's a free 3 points usually. Great. And then using it at the end of the game for a 3-point action is strong as well. Not going to first pick Burger Flipper, but I want to keep it in mind that it's out there. Stockman is a nice card, and there are a lot of build stable cards in G4, G5 that are... Oh, let's see, are we going to be playing or not? Okay, starting over. Hey guys, this is William with another video for Play-agricola.com's YouTube channel. playing an EIK WM France deck G4 G5 with LadyInWaiting, TheBoot, and Barbarossa. LadyInWaiting and TheBoot are both particularly very strong players. Barbarossa I don't know as much about, but Boot and Lady are both excellent players. Taking a look at this first pile, some of the best cards here. Chief's Daughter is very strong, especially if you can ever play it for free. Sunrise Admirer situationally can be really good. Stockman can combo really well, but I think the best pick here, nice all-around card, is Chief's Daughter. Okay, taking a look at the second pile. Circus Manager lets me play occupations on the traveling player spot, and particular combos particularly well with traveling player cards. So I think that's going to be my pick here. Hedgekeeper can be really good. Wheelbarrow Pusher can be very good, but I think the pick is Circus Manager. Alright, here we've got Racing Stable Manager goes quite nicely with the Stockman. Merchant Plowman is also I really like it, especially if I could get Woodworker back. Woodworker would mean that you have a ton of wood available to you, and then the Merchant Plowman makes it not such a big deal. Paying a wood to get a food and a plow off of your turn, like without using an action, is pretty good, because then you can just spend a bunch of actions taking big piles of wood. So yeah, I think Merchant Plowman might be the pick here. Clay Hut Builder is good, but it's kind of situational. Dentist is also a very interesting card. It can be worth a ton of food. But I think Merchant Plowman is a bit better than Dentist, because getting the plows are better than the extra food that you could get. So I think Merchant Plowman is the pick here. I could take Dentist and hope for Woodworker back. Or I could take Racing Stable Manager. That would be good too. I think it's Racing Stable Manager or Merchant Plowman. I'm going to take Merchant Plowman. So what Merchant Plowman does, it makes joinery a minor improvement, and then says whenever you can turn a wood into a food during the harvest, you can pay a food to plow a field. So you use the joinery to turn a wood into a food in a field, which is quite nice. I did broadcast this game live originally on twitch.tv/play_agricola. So if you want to give me a follow there, you can watch me make these videos live, as well as interact. I do try to keep an eye on chat. So okay. Walrus Hunter combos nicely with the Fisherman and the Flipper and everything, and it also goes well with the Woodworker. Woodworker needs a whole bunch of food to work, so Walrus Hunter plus Burger Flipper might be pretty nice. But I don't mind the Burger Flipper putting food onto the traveling player's spot, because then I can Circus Manager the spot. So there's Mastermind, which will give me bonus points. There's Land Surveyor, which gives food, but I'm not going to take that. It comes too slowly. I think the picks here are Mastermind or Miller. Miller is good because I can go on Traveling Players, play this as an Ock, and then also build an improvement. So that's why I would consider Miller. Otherwise, I think I would take Mastermind, because Mastermind, if I'm going to get Joinery and play Chief's Daughter, then it'll be worth a couple bonus points at the end of the game. So Miller or Mastermind, and I'm going to take Mastermind because I think it raises my point ceiling higher. And that's usually what you want to do. All right, here. So because I took Mastermind, the pick is Tavern Keeper. I could take Burger Flipper. Burger Flipper plus Circus Manager would be okay. I could take Old Hiker. Old Hiker would be okay. But Tavern Keeper with the bonus point is the pick. So if it's a point plus a food and a grain and a couple extra food from Circus Manager, that's as good as I need. So here, I could take I think Rancher is going to be the pick here. Even though I'm probably not going to plow a lot early, and it seems like there might be people that do, if I build 1 or 2 rooms and plow a field early with Merchant Plowman, then that'd be pretty good. I'm not going to take Hill Cultivator because I'm going to plan on getting grain from Tavern Keeper. So, yeah, Turner sucks. Rancher. And then here I got Family Planner, Academic Clay Hut Builder. Pretty terrible card. Well, it's very situational. I'm probably not going to build 4 or 5 rooms, so I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take Academic, so I'll take Clay Hut Builder. Whether I play it or not, we'll see. Okay. Iron Oven could be really good with 5 rings and my Tavern Keeper. Country Silo could be good. Not gonna take Green Cart. Not gonna take Country Silo. Not gonna take Simple Fireplace. Not gonna take. For me, it's between 5 rings, Iron Oven, and Baby Sling. If I think Iron Oven will get back, then I'll take 5 rings. Otherwise, I think I take Baby Sling. Baby Sling is a really strong card because it gives you 2 or 3 actions throughout the game. And even though it frees up the space for your opponent, it gives you an action at very key times to get food or whatever. So I think the pick here is... I think it's 5 rings. So in light of the fact that I have Merchant Plowman, I think 5 rings is the pick. Hoping that Iron Oven comes back. Yeah. But even if it does, I think I will be pretty happy with that pick. Okay, not going to take Undisturbed Pond, not going to take Schnapps, not going to take Breakfast, not going to take Fish Hook, not going to take Bookmark because I have Circus Manager already. So for me, the picks are Absinthe or Petting Zoo. Petting Zoo is good 2 wood for 3 points, which is very good. I think I'm going to take Absinthe, though. It's even if you only get 3 or 4 of the 5 food, it's still fantastic. Free point and a couple food. Yeah. All right. I'm pretty sure my pick's going to be Wooden Path because it'll probably be a 3-point move. But just in case, I'll take a look at the other stuff. And yeah, my pick's going to be Wood Path. 1 wood for 3 points with my Mastermind. Yeah. Here, trees for the citizens. Yeah, that's a pretty easy pick. Will be worth this point plus probably another 2 points at least, plus a point for my mastermind. Yeah. So this, with trees for the citizens, it now becomes really important for me to get the joinery. So if I focus on making sure I'm the first to get it, shouldn't be too hard to get. I should also consider Twibble and Twivel because it's a free point plus some food. However, I think I'm probably not going to rush out 5 rings, so I think it probably will come after the first bit of building is done. So yeah, I'm going to pass on that. Trees for the citizens will be another free card, which gives me a bunch of points. The other thing I could consider, although it's almost never played that way, I could use 5 rings for wood, makes wood path free, makes joinery 1 wood cheaper instead of 1 stone cheaper. Probably I would only consider that depending on if I took 3 more miners with the wood cost, but yeah, probably not. So the way things are looking right now, build a wood room, play lots of occupations, feed through the first 2 harvests with Traveling Player Circus Manager, and then probably build a clay room with Clay Hut Builder, and maybe 2 clay rooms. So maybe I go to 5, and then if I go to 5, maybe I don't even play Chief's Daughter because I probably wouldn't make it to stone, but we'll see. Okay, Country Silo. It's fine, although it costs a bunch of wood, and I think I'm going to be a little wood tight, so probably not going to take Country Silo. Simple Fireplace might be the pick. Yeah, none of these I'm that excited about. I think Simple Fireplace is the pick here. I could take Country Silo, but I already have Tavern Keeper, and I think the wood cost is going to be too steep because I'd rather use it for my joinery. Yeah. And then here, not going to take Undisturbed Pond. Not going to take Schnapps, so it's Breakfast Outdoors or Fish Hook. Not going to take Breakfast Outdoors. So I guess Fish Hook is a wood for a point, and maybe as another miner to contribute to trees for the citizens. So yeah, that's okay. Wood for a point is fine conversion. Schnapps does have the bonus point symbol at the bottom, so it would be a vegetable and a stone with 5 rings for 3 points. Which is okay conversion, but I might not even pick up a vegetable at all throughout the game, let alone turn one vegetable plus a stone into 1 extra point. So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's okay. Passing on that. And then here, I'd say the pick is Wine Closet. Nice. It's a way to get my vegetable plus a bonus point for Mastermind. Yeah, Sack Card is really good, but I have Tavern Keeper and I'm planning on playing it, so I think Wine Closet is just a little bit better, especially with Clay Hut Builder giving me some extra clay. Yeah. So now, did I draft enough wood miners to consider using 5 rings for wood? I'll keep it in mind, but I think probably not. I will definitely keep it in mind. So yeah, going over it again, I'm going to play Circus Manager first, and then Mastermind, and then start playing my other occupations. Maybe not Rancher, Clay Hut Builder mid-game or late game, if at all. Chief's Daughter, going to hold on till almost the end, if I even get to a stone house. If Chief's out there, that would be pretty cool, because then I play it for free. But, yeah. So I start 4th, so that's too bad. Fortunately, Circus Manager helps me get out of being occupation stuck. So I wouldn't mind getting Reedstone Food early to get 5 rings out. So I don't know. I might end up getting a little stuck on Reed. Oh, interesting. We got Barbarossa play Dancer. So Barbarossa knows about Circus Manager. So yeah, probably that Dancer pick is just to keep me from playing Circus Manager. Which is too bad. But Dancer's a good card in its own right, so if I don't play Circus Manager, then probably I play Mastermind, Tavern Keeper, Clay Hut Builder, and Merchant Plowman, and that's fine. And then maybe Chief's Daughter at the end. So pass on Circus Manager and Rancher. We'll see. Yeah. So we had Wheelbarrow Pusher. What Wheelbarrow Pusher basically does, it turns the reed spot into a reedstone food or a reedstone wood spot. What it's really effective for is denying reed to your opponents. So you go on it with your second action every round, and the only way someone can get 2 reed to build a room is if they do reedstone food twice, which is a very contested spot. So here I got a couple options. I could 2 wood, I could 2 clay, no sheep, no major minor. So I think I will 2 wood. Because I'm planning on needing a lot of wood throughout the game. Yeah, if it was 3 clay, I would have taken clay for sure, because that's enough for my simple fireplace and my wine closet. But, yeah. Oh, Boot plays Perpetual Student, so he's going to be playing lots of occupations. So here I can play an occupation, or I can take 4 clay, and I think I'm going to take 4 clay. It's looking like it's going to be very difficult for me to get my 2 reed to build a wood room. So what I might do is I might go to clay right away and build 2 clay rooms with Clay Hut Builder. I'm going to keep that in mind, especially if Reno comes out round 5 and LadyInWaiting is the first player to build a room. Yeah, I definitely have to keep that in mind. So Boot plays Walrus Hunter. So whenever you fish, you get a boar. It's okay. You don't really want to go on the fishing space that often, though, so I'm not that crazy about it. All right, here, I think I'm going to starting player Simple Fireplace. Because that'll let me do one of 2 things. It either lets me play a free occupation, or it lets me go on 2 reed or reedstone food. Any of those would be good. So I think I'll take reedstone food. Because LadyInWaiting for sure will go on reed and take some other stuff. Probably reed food wood. Yeah. And here, still no sheep, so that's a bit disappointing. But I do reedstone food. I imagine Boot will play an occupation, if not LadyInWaiting. So I'll probably end up taking 3 wood with my second action, or I could do 3 food fishing. Yeah, so I imagine Boot plays an occupation here, and then Barbarossa takes 3 wood, so then I'll have the chance of 3 wood, or 3 food. I do want to play and my mastermind at some point. If I don't take 3 wood, it's possible that boot starting players to hope that Barbarossa passes on it. I also wouldn't mind taking 3 food fishing, but he's got tons of food. LadyInWaiting's not going to take it. Okay, so I'm not going to fish for sure. All right, I'll take play mastermind. So Boot probably starting players here, but maybe he takes 3 wood, and then Barbarossa will probably dance or starting player. Probably dance, I would think. If he does dance, I get Reedstone food, which is awesome. If he's starting players, then I'm second action, and so that's okay as well. Oh, he's starting players, plays Bookmark. Bookmark, it lets him use a wood to pay a free occupation in the future. And then Racing Stable Manager was played by TheBoot, which is whenever you build a stable, you can plow a field. And here, so I need to get 1 more food. So probably I'm just going to play it safe and take my 4 food fishing here. And my plan will be, my second action will probably be starting player so that I can Reedstone food next round. And I have a couple good miners to starting player with, like starting player 5 rings would be pretty good. Alternatively, I could play an occupation with my second action, so we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So LadyInWaiting plays Dentist. Dentist lets you turn wood into food over time. So and Boot plays Veggie Importer, so he chooses not to random that, decides it's more important to get the card out. I agree. Veggie Importer is pretty good, pretty easy card that lets you max out your, if you sow once and then eat one of the vegetables, yeah, it's pretty good. So there's no occupation available. I could take 4 clay, but there's not anything I really want to do that badly. I think what I'm going to do here is starting player. So I'll starting player 5 rings. So I imagine, well, oh no, LadyInWaiting won't build a room because she doesn't have to, because she can build before Barbarossa next round. So LadyInWaiting might take Reed again. So if Reno comes out round 5, I will seriously consider playing Clay Hut Builder and then renovating to a clay house. Nope. So I Reedstone food. So now I have enough to build a wood room. I could take 6 clay as well. 6 clay will get taken, 4 wood will get taken, so I'll have the choice of 3 wood or an occupation. Which is fine. I do want to play another occupation, so... I guess even if I'm on a clay house with Chief's Daughter is still a 2-point action with Mastermind, so that's pretty good. It's very lucky that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that combo with Mastermind, gives them a point, so that's pretty cool. LadyInWaiting builds a room, no surprise. So I imagine here Barbarossa takes 4 wood. He could also starting player. I doubt he's starting player, so not with 4 wood available. He does starting player. Okay, so I'll take 4 wood. Because 4 wood is good. So Barbarossa decides it's more important for him to build second than just about anything else. He might also be guessing that the boot has Animal Pen. If he does, then he's avoiding this. Boot commenting that this would be a good spot to have Harris. Yes, it would. Yes, it would indeed. Especially for me, because then I would have control of growing and starting player. So for the first time, LadyInWaiting does not take 1 read, so that means there'll be a 2 read action available next round. Woohoo! Fortunately, at this point, when everybody has a 2 read, it's not worth as much. So the boot does have Burger Flipper and Walrus Hunter, so going on fishing will be worth quite a lot of food for him, or it'll be worth some food and 2 different types of animals, so that can be good as well. Barbarossa plays Woodworker, so there we go. The Dancer is supporting a Woodworker play, so that's good. It also means there's 1 food available on that expensive ox spot, which I will be able to get. So that's pretty cool. Here, I could starting player, but I don't think I need... No, I definitely don't need a starting player, not with my first action at least. So I'm going to play an occupation since it's free, thanks to... all the other stuff that's in the game, and I will play I could play Tavern Keeper or I could play Merchant Plowman. I think I'll play Merchant Plowman just in case I decide to starting player with my second action. So LadyInWaiting asking about how Baby Sling works, and Baby Sling needs to be in place before you go on the starting player or on the family growth action. So she's considering starting player. The build room spot ahead of LadyInWaiting. So I'll starting player and play Absinthe, which will give me a food. So it seems like I'm going to have to starting player with my second action in order to get on the build room spot ahead of LadyInWaiting. So I'll starting player and play Absinthe, which will give me a food, and then I will play or I could Joinery. No, I think Absinthe is better because it'll get me a food on round 7 and round 8 for sure, because I'll know where I'm going. Yeah. Okay, Absinthe is good. I'm happy with that. It does push back my my Joinery a little later, but I don't think it's likely to get taken. It's possible that Boot builds it, but I don't think it's likely. So think I could read Stone Food. I could to read could take 4 food traveling players. If the Boot renos and builds Cooking Hearth, which I think is pretty likely, he could take those sheep away from me. But it's only 3 food for me, which is not even that good. Oh, I'm not sure what I want to do. I could read Stone Food. I could to read could take 4 food traveling players. Reed Stone Food, 3 wood. I guess I'll read Stone Food. That's enough for me to reno to clay, so the second read is only useful if I have a third read, so I guess read Stone Food here is fine. Lady was probably going to see that play anyways, but Barbarossa pointing it out is a little annoying. But she does need a big food action, so I could try to starve her food if she does build room first move. I don't know. It's not really worth it for me to try and screw her over, but she gets given 2 extra food. So I might need a starting player here, which is pretty frustrating. I guess Boot doesn't have any read, so probably I don't have to starting player. So my first move will be 4 wood, because 4 wood is always a good action. And then maybe my second move will be to take the 4 sheep, so 3 food and a sheep. Now I have the starting player, unless Barbarossa is starting player, doing starting player here. If he is, I guess that would be good. Would make up for this somewhat. It's a good 3 stone. I could take sheep. I want my next round to be build and grow, so the stone would be good, but I think I have to take food. I also could have taken reedstone food so that I could build 2 wood rooms, but I think that would be too much wood. That would be me paying too much wood. And now I'm at the point where my tavern keeper I can't activate my tavern keeper because I didn't get on the build room spot early enough because LadyInWaiting took it twice in stage 2. Which is really strong. Really strong. So instead of growing again here, she's deciding to not pay the food this harvest and still have the same I think it's the same number of actions, because she loses an action next round but gains it from the baby sling next round. So, I don't know. Barbarossa as well. I imagine he first action takes 4 stone next round. Oh no, he first action built the well. That's interesting. Well, I have to build a room here. So I haven't got any big piles of resources yet, which is too bad. Would like to be doing that. At least the baby sling doesn't interfere with my growing. So I was gonna grow 3rd no matter what, so. So here I family growth, and because of my merchant plowman, I can buy joinery. And it's a point for my mastermind. So next round, I would like to reno to clay and play clay hut builder, and then I would have 1 free action. So probably when I reno, I play cooking hearth, turn my simple fireplace into a cooking hearth, and then my other thing could be take 2 reed if it's available, to build a room. That would be okay. I would like more than 2 reed, though. The fact that Lady-in-Waiting keeps sitting on that spot is pretty annoying for me. So Boot, recognizing that Lady-in-Waiting could build another room next round, starting players. I think in order to first action, build a room, but actually probably not to first action build a room, because then he's going to starve because he wants to build stables and activate his racing stable manager as well. So yeah, actually, okay, I changed my mind. Boot's not going to first action build. Well, he might still and just give up on the field from racing stable manager. That's always possible. So I'm going to want to use my Merchant Plowman every harvest for the rest of the game. So that means it's going to give me 4 fields. So to max out on my field points, I'm going to need to plow only once, which is good. Hopefully it'll be a nice plow sow action, where I sow a couple crops. Yeah. So Boot does decide to do that. So he's probably got a miner that's going to give him a food, I would think, to use on family growth. So that's interesting. Some of the other new miners played. Lady-in-Waiting played Upholstery. Upholstery says you can pay a reed to get a bonus point, essentially. I think I just gotta keep taking 4 wood. I would like to build another room, but maybe I won't be able to. I could always still play Clay Hut Builder and use all that clay as bonus points for the pottery. I could do that. If I have a first action over Boot next round, yeah, that would be okay. Because that would sort of make up for me not getting the 4th room, is the pottery bonus points. Oh, Boot plays Salary. So that gave him a food. Okay. Nothing too fantastic, but it's alright. So I would like to Clay Hut Builder and Renault play a Cooking Hearth. But is that going to be worth it without getting the pottery? I'm not sure. Either way, we'll see. I'll do this for now. And I'll have Cooking Hearth, which means I probably have access to 3 boar next round, which is quite good. Lady-in-Waiting plays Basket Maker's Workshop, so she probably would have liked to go on Renault there, so I'm happy that I've denied that for her. But that also probably means she's going to go on Reed again. So she's really nailing those of us who might have wanted to build lots of rooms. But I mean, good for her. that Baby Sling play made it so she can get lots of rooms early, so... So salary is very simple card. When you go on day labor, you can exchange one resource for another. Nothing really special about that. Here I'm going to play Clay Hut Builder. So I imagine that TheBoot will now first action Reno play pottery, but if he doesn't, then I get pottery, and if he does, then I'm going to try to build 2 more rooms. And I still have good miners to play, so building more rooms and growing is fine. And I occupied a spot that LadyInWaiting would have liked to use, so... LadyInWaiting plays Cabbage Lover, gives her a vegetable, and lets her turn clay into points when she eats cabbage. So... Oh, Cabbage Lover would have been good for me, actually, with Mastermind. But that might be first pick Cabbage Lover, which is not good for her. Very good for me. Oh, sleight of hand. This would have been nice for any of the rest of us to get reed with wood or anything else. Sleight of hand lets you convert 4 resources into any other 4 resources. And she does it. She's going to build another room. Cool. Yeah, LadyInWaiting having quite a good game. She'll have a little bit of feeding problems, but the wheelbarrow pusher plus basket maker's workshop helps her deal with that. Plus the dentist. Dentist is letting her... Oh yeah, no feeding problems. She's generating 4 food every harvest at least with dentist, plus another 3 from reed. Yeah. Plus a food from wheelbarrow pusher. Yeah, she's generating... She's going to have 8 food for 1 action. Yeah. It's good. She's having a good game. Good for her. She might have a little bit of wood troubles, but maybe not. Boot might value getting a hearth higher than the pottery. That's also possible. Ooh, he takes 4 wood instead. Nice. So I will build the pottery with my first action. He probably doesn't recognize that I can build the pottery because of the clays on the board and the 5 rings. Oh well. It's his loss, kind of. So, will I still try to build another room? My tavern keeper wants me to, but getting reed is proving to be very difficult. So I think I would rather just build the pottery here, and then... I think I would rather just build the pottery and then I'll have max pottery points thanks to the clay hut, or at least 2. Yeah. It'll be a 5-point difference, so it's probably worth the 2 actions for the 5 points. Especially since I still have a bunch more improvements I want to play. yeah, I do have a bunch more improvements I want to play. I would also really like more actions, which I don't have enough actions right now. Barbarossa is playing Hedgekeeper, probably indicating that he wants to start taking pairs of animals. Oh, so here I would like to fence before I take this 3 boar, but I think I'm hungry enough that I'll end up eating them anyways. So I'm going to take 2 boar for 6 food. So I want to keep taking wood. I'm eventually going to want to do a bunch of fencing. Probably not going to build a 4th room. It's looking like that. It's looking like I won't be building a 4th room. Yeah, sometimes when people are making names for cards, they just rip the images and the idea off the other card. I'm not sure if this is actually an image from Magic the Gathering, but yeah, I do know that there's a Magic card called Sleight of Hand, which is... But then again, there's a Magic card called just about everything you can think of, because there are a lot of them. So what do I want to do with my next action? I probably want a starting player round 11, and if I do, I think I would starting player... I could play Wine Closet, or I could starting player Absinthe. Wine Closet wouldn't be too bad for me because it's 3 points, more than 3 points, the vegetable plus the bonus point. I wouldn't mind also playing Absinthe. I think what I do here is I starting player Absinthe, because there's not that much else that I want to do. And then I'll take 4 wood with my first action next round, and that'll be fine. And then if my second action, starting player, is still available, then I'll do that. Yeah, Baby Sling is so good. Not picking it first was probably a big mistake. I don't know. Hard to know. Very hard to know. Anyways, I'll do 4 wood and take an Absinthe food. I haven't been keeping an eye on LadyInWaiting's resources. Hopefully she's doing them right. Probably is. Very knowledgeable player, so I'm sure it'll be fine. I still have Wooden Path. I still have Trees for the Citizens. I definitely want to play both of them. So that means 2 more starting player actions or a starting player plus 1 starting player plus 1 major minor on renovation. One of those 2 things. Renovating is probably worth it, with Chief's Daughter especially. Especially since I can get like Stone Oven for pretty cheap, or for cheaper, or Clay Oven. Stone Oven or Clay Oven are both pretty strong for me. So I do a 3 stone action and a Reed Stone food, and then I'd be 1 stone short for Stone Oven, but I would be able to pay for Clay Oven, so that would be cool. So Barbarossa starting players, that's good, because if I don't see anything I like with my first action, I can starting player and grab Family Growth in round 13. So that'll be okay with me. So I get Mini Pasture. Combos really well with Hedgekeeper. So what do I do here? I could Reed Stone food. I think I take 3 stone. Yeah, so starting player will be worth a whole bunch of points to me, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so probably what's going to be my downfall this game will be that I just won't have enough actions to do everything that could be good for me. So that's okay. It happens. Trying my best. So yeah, Tavern Keeper, Rancher, Circus Manager are all going to be left unplayed. The only other thing I might play is Chief's Daughter. And I'm almost certainly going to play Chief's Daughter because it's going to be at least 2 points. Probably it'll be a 4-point action. So nice. Barbarossa's having a really nice game. The Miller is going to let him buy Clay Oven, which he can then bake. Yeah. Really nice play by Barbarossa. I would have liked that Clay Oven. Oh, so 3 stone is probably not enough for me. So I'm going to need more than 3 stone, which means it's 2 actions. So might not end up being worth it, but no matter what, gonna need to take Reed. So do I want to eat, or do I want to play Wine? I could play Wine Closet here. That would be an okay play. I could take a grain. I could Trees for the Citizens or Wooden Path. I should count up my Trees for the Citizens, actually. So Joinery is a pair. Wood Path and Trees for the Citizens is another pair. So Wine Closet would be the extra, would be the outlier. So I need to think here for a moment. So I think I want to Reed Stone food rather than just take Reed, because the extra Reed are worth nothing to me. Don't want to play an occupation here, so I could take vegetable, I could take grain. If Plow Sow gets past to me and I don't have a vegetable or a grain, I will be disappointed in myself. So I think what I'm going to do here is play Wine Closet. And It's worth 1 extra point, but it costs me a bunch of resources, so I think I'll just take a vegetable. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind playing Wine Closet, but it's worth 1 extra point. It's worth 1 extra point. Do I want to pay 2 clay and a wood for a point? And I guess I don't, is my thinking. So I could have played Wine Closet there, but so yeah, I'll get a Reedstone food action in one of the next 2 rounds, and then I'll plan on Reno, probably starting player 1 more time, and then Reno Wooden Path or Reno Trees for the Citizens, depending on which I play when. And I need to fence, and I need to hopefully get some breeding pairs of animals. So you know what? I could have fenced with that action instead. Because then I would be able to take 2 cattle or 2 boar next round. It's probably too late. Yeah, it's definitely too late to change that move. I'll ask anyways. So I could fence the large 12, which would give me 1 extra point, but it wouldn't let me hold a 3rd type of animal, which will also probably be points in itself. So food and then feed 6. Abs on SP. So either I get 2 cattle or I get starting player trees for the citizens. Either of which would be quite nice. Two cattle is... You end up with 4 cattle, which is 3 points, so it's a 5-point action, or it's a starting player move. And nice. And it is possible that the 2 cattle come back around. It's unlikely, but it is possible. So I starting player trees for the citizens, which is free and another mastermind point. Take a look at the game log. Oh, I see. So Barbarossa probably takes 2 cattle here. Oh, he doesn't. He builds a room. Interesting. So I get 2 cattle, which I'm very happy about. So, I'm gonna family growth with my first action next round. What other actions do I still have to do? I still need to take wood. So I need 3 more wood. 1 for wooden path plus 2 for another 2 plow. And then I need to get reed somehow, so probably a reedstone food action. So I have 4 actions left before the next harvest. So I want to take wood, I want to take reed, I want to family growth, and I have 1 other thing that I can do. So probably that means that I need to take reedstone food here. But there is 2 boar available, and 2 boar is really good. So I definitely need to consider taking 2 boar here. So I could reedstone food here, or I could rely on getting it next round. Now, the other thing to consider is there is stone oven available, and I could just play stone oven instead of renovating, but renovating is going to be worth like 2 or 3 more points, so I think it's worth doing it. It's worth doing the read action. Oh, I'm not sure. This is an interesting dilemma. So I need a 3 wood action. So I'm not going to take wood. So I could take 2 boar, or I could take sheep, 2 sheep next round. I think I'm going to play it safe and read stone food. Yeah, they're probably going to be a little confused by that move because they're probably thinking that I'm just going to do stone oven, but so I family growth next round. So that means I'll have 2 more moves. So probably there'll be 1 move take wood and another move reno wooden path. And then I can eat a wood, a clay. Yeah, okay. I have enough to do that. That's cool. And then that'll be me counting on getting... Then I won't have to count on getting reno in round 14. Although if 3 boar is available, I definitely have to consider 3 boar. We'll see. We shall see. Holding on to my reno until round 14 is kind of nice also because it gives me the option to put absinthe on reno, and then I'd have control of that spot. Theoretically. I don't know. I think B renoing choosing the Reno here is also good because it means that there are only 2 Renos left available. So that means Boot and LadyInWaiting are competing to get stone. So that's also good. Although there is stone oven available, so LadyInWaiting might just decide to build stone oven instead of renovating. We'll see. She's got 2 more moves to do, so. If I could put off my Reno until round 14, that would be nice, but I wouldn't get it for sure, and then I would miss out on a couple points. So my plan for next round, family growth, take wood, Reno, play wooden path. And then my plan for round 14 would be take animals, take veggies, take grain, play chief's daughter. So just try to do the maximum number of point moves. And also take a bit of food, I guess, because I'll probably need food in round 14. So Mastermind is probably going to end up being worth 5 points if I play Wooden Path and Chief's Daughter. So that'll be pretty good. I'll be pretty happy with that if that's the case. Getting those 3 boar would be really good. But I think LadyInWaiting's taking them. So I'll get a food from Absinthe. I hope 3 wood gets back around to me. That's actually pretty important, getting 3 wood. Because the 3rd wood is 2 points over 2 wood. It's a difference between 2 points. Because it's another plow or what's another plow basically, or wood path. I guess I could not play, like my plows are already going to be played for sure, because I could do something instead of wood path, like stone oven for example. I would just have to grab 1 more stone. I don't know, we'll see. If 3 wood comes back around though, I'm taking that for sure. So the boot starting players, so that's good. Much better him than LadyInWaiting. Going 3rd is fine. It's really just going 4th that seems to really suck. So Barbarossa probably has to take clay here. Barbarossa doesn't take clay, takes boar instead. So he needs a clay action before he can reno. The boot needs a 3 stone action. Well, I'm going to take 3 wood here. And then we'll see what the next round of actions looks like. If LadyInWaiting takes 5 clay, that would keep Barbarossa. Well, I guess Barbarossa could 2 clay, so. So if I don't take sheep, I actually should have fenced differently. I should have fenced the big thing. Maybe that would have been the safer play. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, 2 sheep is just going to be 1 point. Or taking 1 sheep will be worth 1 point to me. So, or 2 points to me. So, will I have actions better than that? Probably not. Probably I'll end up taking 1 grain, taking 1 vegetable, playing sheep, doing an action to take food. So here I reno and I'll play wood path. So it's 6 plus clay plus wood is 9, so I'm gonna be left with 2 food. So 4 food, clay, wood, 4, 7 food. So trees for the citizens is worth 3 points. Playing wine closet, actually playing wine closet will be worth. It'll be worth 3 points in this last round. So I would give up on a plow, which is 2 points, but I would make that up with the veggie. It would be another wood miner, which is a point, and it would be a mastermind point. So playing wine closet is equivalent to me taking vegetable. Another food, so I need 6 food or 4 food. So hopefully my absinthe can pay for my chief's daughter. So 5 food or 3 food. And then I would take, that's a point. Okay, yeah, so I'm not playing wine closet then. So I have 4 actions next round. I need to take 5 food or 3 food. If I got absinthe, that would help. So yeah, 5 food or 3 food, and I need to play Chief's Daughter, so that's another food. So I need 6 food or 4 food. So hopefully my absinthe can pay for my Chief's Daughter. So 5 food or 3 food, and then I would take vegetable, take grain, play Chief's Daughter, and last action, family growth maybe take sheep. Probably not take wood. Probably I'm not going to do that. Did I pass any late game cards? I guess I passed the pay 1 food for empty spots. So Lady-in-Waiting probably has that card. Hide Farmer, I guess? Yeah, Hide Farmer. Actually, all 3 of them are very strong candidates for Hide Farmer. So any of them could have it. If only I remembered which pack it was in. Which pack was Hide Farmer in? Was it in my second pack? So if it, well, that doesn't even really help that much. I need to remember what other cards were in it so I could see, okay, Boot took that instead of Hide Farmer or whatever. No, I think it probably was. Might have been LadyInWaiting. She probably didn't plan on 5 rooms at the beginning of the game, though. However, Barbarossa may have. No, not with Hedgehog. Not with Hedgekeeper. No, okay. So it's not Barbarossa. It's Boot or Lady, and probably it's Lady. It's definitely Lady, since Boot's played all 7 occupations. Right. So I'm going to want to get... If I get on occupation before LadyInWaiting, that saves me a food. Probably will be a point. I guess I could always just eat my 2 cattle, and that's all the food I need for the rest of the game. Yeah, not ideal to do that, though. So I have very strong bonus points. Good thing Barbarossa caught that, because I was not watching that for stuff like that. Hopefully she's been right with the resources. I'm sure she has. And if not, it'll only be like 1 or 2 resource difference, which probably won't be the difference in the game. So things for me to do. If family growth is available, I'll probably family growth, because then I can just eat my 2 cattle, and that'll be okay. Or eat 1 of my cattle at least. Oh, family growth is taken. That's fine, so I'll take a sheet. Or plow. Or take a grain. Yeah, there aren't that many big food actions available, only the cattle space. So probably I end up eating cattle. Yeah, Lady in Waiting does have Hide Farmer. Very nice for her. Makes up for the fact that she didn't have enough wood defense or a plow. So I'll take vegetable and a food, and then my last action will be cattle or take a grain. Probably their equivalent. So Lady in Waiting would have liked Mastermind as well. Cabbage Lover, Hide Farmer, Schnapps Distillery, Basket Maker's Workshop, and Upholstery all would have triggered. Yeah, 5 cards that trigger, same as me. And then here, taking a cattle. Okay, so I'm gonna get a food from my wood, and then if I eat a clay and a cattle, either way I'm gonna need to eat 2 points no matter what. So feed 2A, convert wood. So I score 35 plus 5, 3, 3, 2. So that's 48. Probably, no, definitely not enough to win. I'm sure Lady in Waiting's got this. It's possible, but I think it's either, yeah. Five-point Mastermind, 3-point Chief's Daughter, 2 from my Wooden Path, and 3 from my Trees for the Citizens. Yeah, 48. So that's pretty good. better than I was expecting when I kind of, the family growth queue got jumped around a bit on me. But do I have enough to beat Lady in Waiting? Probably not. Not with all the upholstery points and the Schnapps Distiller points and everything. So probably not. So I did better than Boot and Barbarossa, so I'm happy about that. Boot scored 44 and Barbarossa scored 40. Now Boot really got stuck being fourth to grow, getting jumped by Lady. I guess he only got jumped by Lady once, but still, Lady grew twice before he even grew once. So even though he grew in sequence, he had a big action disadvantage to overcome. I'm not that crazy about his occupations. Perpetual student means you're going to want to play all of them, but oh, so it looks like I won. So Lady in Waiting is saying she only has 40 points. So 48, 40, 44, 40, final. So 48, 40, 44, and 40. So I ended up winning. So yeah, I guess I figured I was going to end up in the mid 40s, but I thought that these guys were going to be way better than me. Yeah. Cool. I guess I had a very efficient game. For example, getting the I got the most out of my pottery plus clay hut builder combo, and then my merchant plowman is quite good, because you pay turn a wood into a food and a plow. So basically, 1 4 wood action is worth 4 fields and 4 food, which is really good. Yeah. Cool. I guess I got a little bit lucky in terms of no one else really had an amazing game, so that just let me out efficiency everyone else. So yeah. So Barbarossa with 5 clay rooms definitely would have liked to get to a stone house. I mean, he played storyteller, woodworker, not that great cards. He's missing out on 2 different types of animals. I guess the big thing is that there was a big wood shortage. So Boot is missing out on a bunch of wood here. He would like to have fenced all this off, and if he does that, he beats me. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Yeah. So even if he has a bunch, well, I mean, it's easy to say if he has a bunch more wood, he wins. But the fact that so much wood got taken out of the game by Lady in Waiting building 5 wood rooms, and Barbarossa, I think, built 4 wood rooms and then a clay room, something like that. So I probably would have tried to build more rooms if the game hadn't been so read tight. So I guess I got a little fortunate that I built the fewest number of rooms, so therefore had the most efficient game. I'll take a quick look at the draft to see if there were any cards that went unplayed that would have been real game changers. So Sunrise Admirer went unplayed for Lady in Waiting. First pick Sleight of Hand. Ooh, that's pretty rough. What about the Boot? He has He played all his. Oh, he didn't play Iron Oven. Yeah, Iron Oven would have been quite good for him. Took Tavern as well. Dancer. Oh, Barbarossa had Sculptor's Son and Journeyman. Okay, so that's why he played Powder Keg, because he was planning on activating Journeyman, but then he went up to 5 wood rooms or 5 rooms instead of going to stone at that point. Interesting. And I'm not sure if he ever played. Oh, he did play Ground Pickaxe Plow. Yes, he did. Of course, because that was why there was the wood on the stone space. Anyways, this was a okay game. I mean, nothing really fancy. Wooded Path is a really good card. Trees for the Citizens, especially with Joinery, I think is quite nice. You have to get Joinery for it to be worth it. So Merchant Plowman plus Trees for the Citizen makes me want to get Joinery, so that was good. Yeah. Absinthe is a great card. What did I get? I think I got every food out of it. Yeah, and then I got 5 points from my Mastermind. And I took 4 wood a bunch of times, so I was pretty efficient on my wood grabs. So, yeah, I guess I had a good game. Thanks for watching. I ended up winning that, so lucky me. So this, so I broadcasted this originally on Twitch. So if you want to give me a follow on there, twitch.tv/play_agricola. And then I'm, of course, uploading everything to YouTube. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Let me know if you like this or if you have any suggestions or anything else you want to see. I appreciate your feedback, or if you want to send me an email, agricolaattorney@gmail.com. I've put it on the description in almost all the videos, and I think if you go to the discussion page or the about page on the YouTube channel, my email's on there as well. So I'd like to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think, what you would have done differently, what else you'd like to see. Thanks for watching. Bye.